with Gretel and Michaelan. Today we are joined by one of our good friends, Braden, who we served on the National APVMA board with. And all three of us are first years in vet school this year. So I go to LSU, and Gretel, where do you go?
I go to University of Missouri, also known as Mizzou, College of Veterinary Medicine.
Okay, and Braden?
I go to North Carolina State University.
So fun. So today we're just going to sit down and have a little chit chat about, some of the similarities, differences in our schools, and whether you're a prospective vet student wanting to learn more of the ins and outs from a student, or if you're in vet school and you just want to hear what other people are going through and just have a little casual sit down. That's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to start out, I think, did we all have orientation days or orientation weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gretel, what was your experience with that?
So ours was called VET. We had 3 days at the vet school. So we had us placed in groups of like around 10 students. And it was wonderful. Actually, I have some of my closest friends from that experience. A lot of team building exercises. We had VM2s, that's what we call our second year students, like 3 leaders to a group. So they gave us a lot of advice. And it also felt like the first few days of school, they gave us like maps, and then we would walk to our classes, trying to find everything, showing us the locker rooms, just how to be a vet student. We met our professors and got like a little introduction to the courses, and it was really fun. Actually, I'm hosting a little bonfire with all my VET friends from that day. We're going to do a recap of the first couple months. What about you guys?
Yeah, so for mine, ours was also like 3 days, and it was just a lot of introductions to each other, a whole bunch of icebreakers. We got to meet the professors, so that was really cool, getting to like meet them and hear their backstories. And it was also not like too professional of a setting, so you got to meet everybody and get like a good one-on-one with everyone. And then I also met a lot of like really close friends there, and then we spent a lot of time in our anatomy groups. So just like who we would be dissecting with and just getting to know each other. And we had a lot of like lectures on like how to work together, how to be collaborative, and then how to like represent our school values.
Yeah, and I had it feels like almost a week, but we had some days on, some days off. So over the course of a week, we had FLE, first year leadership experience, and that was essentially like our fun, like icebreaker orientation day. And LSU has 200 students in our class. We're the first class of 200, I think, in the US. But that being said, we were split into halves, so that's why I said we had one day on, one day off. And so I got to meet 100 of them from A through, I think, L in the alphabet. And we just did a whole bunch of activities, and we built a boat and went into the pool at the rec, stuff like that. And then we had a day where we did, some paperwork, headshots, stuff like that. Then we did orientation, which was the boring, like, lecture part of here's everything that you're going to be looking at, here's your schedule. We didn't get our schedule until, I think Saturday before school started. So I don't know if y'all had that experience, but we didn't get our, like, semester schedule till Saturday.
We got ours not too much before school began, but at least 3 weeks, I think.
Ours was like months in advance. We had a Canvas page with quizzes that we had to fill out before VET. Yeah.
I think I would have preferred that because we had like our first week of schedule, but they were like, "Oh, we're not done with the schedule," and everybody was kind of freaking out, and we were like, "Well, we want to know like what we're getting ourselves into before we start school." We didn't get it until like halfway through that week, I think. The full schedule. We got the master Excel sheet, but anyway, it's fine. It's a massive, intimidating schedule, so it just takes a while. I also forgot to mention that I participated in LSU's WIT What It Takes course, and that's essentially just like anatomy prep. We got to learn about study habits, we got to get into the anatomy lab, we did some mini lectures. It was super fun. So, did y'all do anything other than the orientation experiences?
We had like a game night that was offered to us, like an obstacle course or laser tag. So the school provided that. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we also had like, they called it Welcome Week, I think, and we had an event or a social every single night of that week. So that was fun. Braden?
We kind of did a welcome week as well, and then we'd have socials, and the school would provide like drinks and stuff, and then I think the first night of orientation, a whole bunch of my like classmates and I decided to go out to a bar too. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, what was y'all's biggest surprise about the campus or the classmates or like what was just something you weren't expecting going into it?
I am doing surprisingly well without being around a lot of windows. I think you're just so focused about what you're doing. The locker rooms are smaller than you think, so we're kind of like all on top of each other changing. And it's just, I actually have longer breaks in between my classes too. It's so much easier than in undergrad because you're in the same building. So I can just either walk to my next class down the hall or I'm just sitting in the same seat. It's just a lot easier to not have to run all over campus anymore. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
It's I definitely feel similar. Our school, but in like not like you make it seem like a pro way. To me, it's very much a con. I'm in the same room all day, every day, from like 8 to 5 some days, and I'm just like, there's not a single window. Like when my screen blacks out, and I just get like a whole like roam of trees. I'm like, look, it's luxury. Like it's so crazy how different. Our campus is relatively small though. We've only got like 5 lecture halls. I mean, probably only four, one for each class. And it's crazy, but we basically just stay in our one little room and go down to the anatomy room and also just go to the cafeteria, I guess, in the library. But that's about it. I know like I know more locations, but I habitually seen at 4 locations on campus.
Yeah, I think I really stay in. So we have two massive lecture halls, the only two that are big enough to fit my class. The upper classes can use some of the smaller ones. I think we have one or two smaller lecture halls. They just don't fit the big 200 person class. So that being said, we have two brand new lecture halls. They're super cool, but we just flip-flop between the two. So most of the time we're in the same room, but every once in a while they'll give us a day where we're upstairs instead of downstairs. So it's cool. We also have it broken up. I like the way that they've I don't know if there's a better way to do it. It does suck to sit in the same room for like 3 lectures straight, but after that, we get less break time between classes, but then you get a lot of break time between that and then your labs. So that's what I kind of like about that.
Has it been what you guys have expected? I feel like I'm still in a transition state. Like, I know our schedule and like I know what to do, but trying to find the best study habits have been harder for me. Like, I'm passing and I'm doing fine, but I haven't figured out like in undergrad, we could study a few days before the exam and get an A, but that's not reality now. What
It
have you
is
guys been doing?
It has very much been a learning experience. I was exclusively the let me look at the class notes and let me go in, and I didn't need to do anything else. But now that does not work. I will not like the amount of lectures we get in a single day compared to weeks in the undergrad. Like literally half the semester is like one set of slides, and it's just so much material that the only way to actually process it I found is like active recall and stuff, and just being able to have to like brain dump it all out. And I've used a lot more. Like I bought so much more whiteboards than I ever thought I would need. I've bought like I've tried so many different study habits, and I've truly left TV. I had one reality TV show and that has just now ended, and so now I don't know what to do. Like there's nothing going on for me on TV anymore, and I need that, but I also need a personal life. So like come back, big brother, if you're listening.
Yeah, I think I went into it knowing so the way that I went into it is everybody says it hits you like a drug, like it's so much information. That is still true. But I had psyched myself out so hard about it that it felt easy compared to what was in my head. I'm not saying it was easy. It was not easy. It was just easier than what I thought. I thought I'd be like crying and like I remember during orientation we had this section where I don't know what the question was, but they handed me a microphone and I said something about like I can't wait to see like everybody when we're going through our hardest moments being there for each other. And the professor made fun of me and was like, in a joking way, he was being nice, but he was just like, what makes you think you're going to be struggling that hard? And I was like, everything that I know about that school, like, duh. But it wasn't like that. They eased us into it. It's getting harder as we go, but in the beginning, it was definitely manageable. We really just started out with the main and only course that you needed to study for being form and function, which was anatomy and physiology. But we went through it. I think it's been around I think it was 4 to 6 weeks, and we were through everything I'd learned in undergrad. And I was like, oh, cool. So Yeah, the pace is definitely different.
Much faster.
Speaking of classes, could we each break down how our courses are? So for me, I have 18 hours right now. It jumps up to 20 and a half in the spring, but it is anatomy, physiology. Anatomy, I have lecture and lab. Cellular biology, which is basically like a wrap up of every single biology course I took in undergrad. So a mix of molecular and micro and things like that. I have a professional skills course, a clinical skills course. Let me make sure I'm not missing any. Oh, and I have histology and embryology, and that is also a lot of information. So that's like looking at slides like this is what adipose looks like, this is what cartilage looks like when it's normal, and then embryology, as we all know, from embryos. So I'm in class like 2 in a row, then I get an hour and a half or 2 hour break, and then we do like another couple hours in the afternoon. And actually, I'm fine with the long days. I have realized like we have enough of a break in between. The hard part about Mizzou is that it's a 2-in-2 program. Michaelan and Braden's will look different. So I have IPs, which are 8 weeks. So basically, they fit a semester into 8 weeks, and we have 11 of those. So we finish around a little bit over 2 years, and then we go straight into clinics for the other 2 years. So I have 3 tests this week. Then it will be spaced out a little bit better. But next year, I'm going to have 3 exams per week pretty regularly. But it's less information.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, at a time. But what about you guys?
So mine is broken down very, very nicely. It's their second year on this new curriculum, and then Dr. Gerard, who my class loves so much, he made a really good curriculum with it. But we basically just have all of our classes kind of merged into like a subtopic class, or a main topic class. So we've got our animal health and disease. And so that's everything that really the name encompasses. So parasitology, bacteriology, hematology, immunology are 2 things we just finished up. And we usually spend around 3 hours a day in that class, but it's just broken up differently day by day. Then we have our form and function, which is like our anatomy class. We spend much more time in that class today. We are in class every day from like 8 to 5. Monday and Fridays, we get variability. But with the form and function, that's just our anatomy class, our physiology class. It's all in there. That one we spend a lot of time in. We've already covered. We just now started nerves. We've already covered the arm, leg, neck, abdominals, etc. They've just really gone into depth there, which has been really nice because we want a solid starting field, I guess. And then we've just got our basics, professional classes, which are fun. I send some emails and it works out. I do a Wordle. And then we've got our exam and interventions class, which is just our hands-on class where we actually go out into the farm and get to do stuff. Like I was telling them earlier, I got to shoot a dart gun, so that was really fun. And we get to do things in a different setting with our class, and it just brings us together while also getting hands-on experience. So it doesn't feel like a class, but it kind of is.
Yeah, and mine is much more similar to Braden's. So the way that, in a big picture, LSU broke it down into phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1 is your didactic years, and it's from, the first year of class to the first semester of third year. So it includes the first semester of third year. And then phase 2 is essentially a year and a half of clinics. So phase 1, I have when you look at the curriculum pages, we were just talking about this, but it's kind of confusing because it says that this fall semester I'm taking 16 hours. That's not necessarily true because the classes end and start at, I'm sure they have a system, but it feels like some random times. So really, I start immunology now, but finish it next semester, so it's counted in next semester's hours. All that to say, I really like our schedule. We get a lot of break times. They've redone the curriculum similar to NC State. I think it's also our second year or third year on the curriculum. And then I don't think I've ever had more than 4 lectures or lecture hours a day. And then we split our labs up really evenly. The anatomy labs are only 2 hours instead of 3 or 4 like some schools. We just have them 3 times a week instead of 2 times a week. But I'm also not in anatomy or anatomy lab right now because we finished that block of form and function 1. We're in the cell biology part. So again, similar to Braden, it's form and function encompasses a whole lot of random topics.
Yeah.
And If we wanted to go through and just list like our current classes, I think that would be interesting because before I even got in, that's kind of what I was worried about. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be taking. So right now, I'm in 7 classes. I'm in special topics, which is like a community service kind of class, evidence-based veterinary medicine, which is fun because you kind of get a little like dip your toes into some clinical stuff like we did mentation and things like that. Clinical skills is exactly what it sounds like. Today we did ruminant physical exam. It's super fun. It's one of my favorites. I love that we start from the ground up because I have no experience with dogs and cats. I am large animal and necropsy. So I was really scared about that, but they really started us from the bottom up. Form and function I already discussed. Fundamentals of diagnostics and surgeries, exactly what it sounds, a lot of ultrasound, radiography, etc. Veterinary professional development, it is what it sounds like, and then immunology.
I just have those four, and then like topics in between.
I mentioned mine earlier, but I did not say that our clinical skills is a little bit different too. So we have some asynchronous clinical skills, like there are videos. It's the simpler ones, and then you log them. So that way, our first semester we have less time in the classroom because they want to give you more time for studying. It's like wash your hands and then you log it, things like that. And then in our next IP, we're going to have that. Actually, in IP3, we're going to have that in person, and then that starts the more difficult clinical skills. So it's kind of nice for now, honestly, not having to add more hours to a day because we stop. Some days we go 8 to 2 is Monday, which is really nice, and then 9 to 3 most of the rest of the days. And then Fridays I only have anatomy lab. So they are trying to like reel us in well, but I know in my IP 3 and 4 we're going 8 to 5 days a week. So it's going to change.
Yeah, we're kind of 8 to 5 most days, which is so fun because then you also put things on around the outsides. But Fridays, if we don't have an exam, we have the whole afternoon off. And then Mondays, we typically have the afternoon off unless you're in an elective, which I'm luckily not. But that's when I do a lot of my outside class duties and then just like as class VP, send emails and stuff.
Yeah, I really like all the break stuff. Like I said in the beginning, it's not easy being in vet school, but it's not as bad as I thought. I really thought I would be like, don't talk to me, like this is my entire life, this is all I'm gonna do. But it's really not like that. We usually are in class. It's pretty much every day is at 8 a.m., but when we get out is anywhere between 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It just depends. I don't think I'm ever really there until I've never been there till 5 other than one day, and I am there till 5 tomorrow. So that's pretty nice.
Speaking of ending times of the days, what have you guys done in your free time, balancing it all? Let's see. I have found I used to watch way too much TV, so Brayden, also I'm in your same boat. I've had to stop that. Instead, I listen to audiobooks so I can do chores at the same time. You should try that.
One of my professors he started a podcast for like clinical relevances for anatomy and physiology. So I listen to that while I clean. Something I guess I've learned in free time is that I do kind of like to cook, but I always do it like under the stressed mindset. So I guess it's not the best. But I also have found like all my free time just came up because it was reality TV season just a minute ago and Big Brother was on. We had our finale last night. So that was taking up like solid 7 hours a week, which it did not need to be doing. But now that that's done, I can actually get into hobbies.
Yeah,
This summer I turned pretty.
Yes, all my classmates talk about that. I need to catch up.
yeah, I feel kind of, I don't want to say the opposite, but like when I come home, if I'm not studying, I need background noise, but it has to be something brain dead. Like I can't like pay attention and be like, oh, that's really cool. Let me think about this. Like, I need something, I call it brain dead. My mom and I both do it when we come home after a long day. We just need to put something we don't need to think about. So gotten into Drag Race. I'm on season 11 and I started like the first week of school. So I think that's pretty impressive. But that,
The first week of school?
yes.
That's crazy.
It's yeah, yeah, it's on all the time on my phone. I'm walking around the
It
house, I'm
works.
cooking, I'm meal prepping, I'm not when I'm doing passive, not studying, but kind of like
Learning it for the
organizing.
first time. I do a
Yeah.
passive learning too first.
Yeah, so I'll put that on. Other than that, I just try to take it easy. I take a lot of hot baths. I don't really have anything else that I'm doing right now. So yeah.
But yeah, I go and I see my horse. I have one that's in training, and then actually, I feel way more, I don't know, at peace now than I was in undergrad because I'm renting a small horse farm that's like 15 minutes from campus. So I'm in the woods, in the fields of grass, and I can hike there. Yeah, it's so much more peaceful and quiet than living in a college town with people I don't know. So I also like live sort of alone.
That sounds really nice.
It's nice. I'm a
I
hermit.
have my own apartment, which is nice. I don't have roommates, so that's a benefit. And then it's also a really nice complex because I just have like trees in the backyard, which is so nice. It's nice to. There is a stray cat though, so that has become the drama of my house because my cat hates the stray cat, but the stray cat wants me to adopt it. So they're in a dilemma. But the stray cat won't let me touch it. Like I can't get within 10 feet of it, but it will be on my back porch waiting for me and interrupting Willow's peace of life. She is ready to lose a nail over this issue.
Yeah, I started volunteer through I actually started it because of my service learning course and I was required to do it, but I've thoroughly enjoyed volunteering at a local cat shelter called Cat Haven.
It's fun.
And so I go there every single week, and it is like my favorite thing in the world. It is so sweet. It's low intake, no kill, blah, 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 but it's just awesome. And then I also have been doing a lot of like community outreach and going to local elementary schools for career days, things like that. But again, that's part of the course, but I still like so much enjoy it.
We could also talk about clubs, the clubs we're in, and then also balance with our own pets. So I could start to give you guys some ideas. I'm in the Genealogy Club. We have a million clubs here, and they're incredibly active, which is great, but hard for me because I want to join all of them.
Feel that.
Yeah, but the dues add up a lot because you have to pay SAVMA dues and then you have to pay each club due, or is like 20 or more dollars. Some are cheaper. Equine Club, I'm a part of. We had a wet mare palpation the other day. Say one of the biggest differences is that people offer so much more to you as a veterinary student than as a pre-vet student.
Yeah.
Free meals at like every single event, free stuff. They want you there. You feel special. Like you feel so because you are special.
And the meals are so good usually. Like sometimes they're a miss, but occasionally it's really good and I'm just like feasting off. Like we get bebop frequently and I'm always so excited when that comes in. Like I'm immediately booking that lunch.
Yeah, we have like lunch and learns through our clubs are also super active, and it was so hard to choose a couple to join. I joined probably more than I should have, but each club
Yes, we do.
isn't necessarily doing stuff like every single week or even every single month. They more host like a couple big events every semester. That being said, I joined more than I should have, and I still haven't done anything for any of them because they're so spaced out that the ones that I joined just happen to have not had something yet or something that I was interested. And so I joined Food Animal Club, Ophthalmology, which has really cool wet labs. I'm not even interested in ophthalmology. The wet labs were just like, what? And then like cataract surgery, hands-on microsurgery, and eye enucleations. I was like, sign me up. And then I joined Emergency, Critical Care. Well, it's like a really long name. Anatomy Club, pretty much all of the first years. I don't want to say we had to join, but they host things like mock practicals, things like that. So even though I'm not super active and I don't plan on continuing to be in it, it's really helpful for anatomy class. And then finally, theriogenology, obviously, that's a big interest of mine. So what about you, Brayden?
I joined a lot of clubs. I probably can't name them all off because I will be forgetting some, but my main two are definitely Carnivore Crew and Turtle Team, which are both like sub clubs of our WASM club, which is our wildlife club. So with Carnivore Crew, I work with the red wolves we have on campus, and so that's really cool. It's just a lot of keeping like husbandry stuff, and then with Turtle Team, it's a lot of taking in wild turtles, and then we are like the doctors with them, for which is crazy. Like it's more third years, but like we assist, and the we just basically try and get them back out, rehabilitate them, give them some meds and stuff. And then I also ran for class government. So I am our class VP for class of 2029. So that's really fun. It's been a lot to balance that with school and all my other clubs, but it's definitely really fun. And I really enjoy it so far. And it's also made a lot of social events happen.
So cool. Oh my goodness. We have Mule Team here, and then we have the Raptor Rehabilitation Program, which I'm also a part of. You guys are reminding me
It
of
would be so
everything.
fun.
Oh, it's so cool. It's actually like throughout your 4 years. It's like an extra class that's
That's
free.
cool.
Yeah, and it's like once a month, so every club meets like once a month. So they have like a really good balance with it with labs. Yeah.
Are you in the Raptor team?
I am on the Raptor
I
team.
will definitely be needing more information from that because that is so cool. That's like what I want.
Share it all.
Yeah, we also have I think it's called Raptor co-chairs, which is super similar. I didn't try out for it. I just felt like I had enough clubs. So, yeah, but
I guess our school hates birds, which sucks. We haven't even learned about birds yet, but we are by the sea, so that makes sense why we've got like aquatics team and an invertebrate club. I was like, not my jam, but you guys have fun.
That's so funny. I meet very few aquatics. They're like never here in the state of Missouri. It's so cool.
You are a little landlocked.
We're a little landlocked, yeah. They should go to a different program afterwards if they want to do aquatics.
If they're interested in that, maybe space out a little bit. Go to the water.
Exactly. How's it been adjusting with your pets? So I am so thankful to have someone who can let my dog out in the middle of the day because my landlord's always around. So she just lets him out with her dogs. So that's been going really well. And then my horses live with me besides the one who's training. So I feel like I actually get to see them more. And my cats, I have to like pull off of me in order to study for hours and hours and hours. At least at Mizzou, the reality is that everyone here is always studying. But I think it's mostly because we've had a ton of exams the last couple of weeks. So
Same vibe here, like always
yeah.
studying. Like when I finish the Zoom call, guess where I'll be going? Campus to study. But balancing with my cat has been really nice. She's really easy. She's my childhood cat, so I like know her pretty well. But she has become more affectionate, which is crazy. But it's just because I'm not home the most. Since all I have is her, you'll catch me on campus some days 8 to 10, like 8 a.m. to 10. Like I don't go home. I'll bring food, obviously, or like go get food. But it's a lot of studying. And then I come home and she's like, let me love you. And I'm like, this is not the cat I've known my whole life.
roommates have a 14-year-old dachshund, and then one of them trains service puppies, so we have a little lab puppy. And I have my cat who I can't find right now. But yeah, we've got a lot of animals right now. But it's awesome. I love having like more than one animal, more than just mine, because sometimes my cat wants nothing to do with me.
That's so cute. And then another thing we wanted to bring up too, because we talked about our clubs, are the differences between the schools, like how the class functions. I think that this changes year to year. At least for my class, I feel like we have a good mix of, we're mostly introverted. We do have some extroverts. So for me, I am definitely one of the louder ones, probably. Well, I'm an ambivert. I'm actually a hermit, but
I feel that.
yes.
I've had to lock in on my extrovertness, and I'm just like, y'all speak. I can't keep
Yes.
doing this.
Yeah, I
Like when the
felt
professor asks questions, the whole room is silent for the most part.
Raise my hand. I'm like, I don't know the answer, but I'll give you something.
we have we did like a vet professional class where we did MBTI tests, and they showed us the results of the full class. So out of 201 people, we had 164 introverts, I think, which is crazy. Or 146, I'm bad with numbers. But it was a majority introverts, which was crazy because the extroverts really make up for the lack of
I mean,
extroverts.
there's a lot of you guys. Like,
Yeah,
200 is crazy. What was the previous years?
170 something.
Okay, not too
Yeah,
bad. I
they've
just
been stair stepping.
we jumped up from 100 to 125, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is crazy! Like, what are we gonna do?"
No, 200 is crazy. Gretel mentioned the locker room. I guarantee we have the same size locker room, but for 200 people.
We don't even have a locker room.
Yeah.
They just say have fun. Like our campus is it's gorgeous. You guys have both been there.
It is
It's such a
beautiful.
nice campus, but it's not big.
No.
It's very much in the city, which is nice though. because this is coming from Arkansas and Indiana. It's nice to actually be somewhere
That is really
notable.
nice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that you guys have all those windows at NC State. We just got a new cafe though, and it's really nice. And it's like an Amazon walk in and out thing. So yeah, and they're like redoing the library and they're building a new building. They have other things that they really need, that they're in need of updating. But I think it's actually starting to happen. I've seen a lot of vet schools getting redone in the last few years.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say LSU is like currently redoing our cafeteria area into a PJ's coffee, which I never heard of before moving here, but it's just a coffee cafe. So I'm so excited for that. It's gonna be ready in January, predicted. And we have I mean, they just renovated the classrooms, literally finished the week we started school. They renovated the library before I got here, but you can tell that it's relatively new. So we have a bunch of really cool facilities. I'm definitely towards the end of that renovation plan.
That's the perfect time to be there too. And you're also like second or third on your curriculum, which is third is probably the best spot to be because that's when they've figured out all the bumps on the first one, and second's pretty good, but there's still occasionally some bumps. But third, I hope, is probably the smoothest.
Yeah, we have part of our massive like class rep team, I'm gonna call it. You have like a two class reps and then a secretary, a treasurer, the traditional stuff, but we also have a courses and curriculum chair that go to the board meetings and all of that stuff, and they're the class's voice to say, we like these, we like that. So it's changed dramatically since they started it because of the course and curriculums chair and the professors and everybody kind of coming together to see on both sides what works for everybody. So that's one good part about it.
Yeah, the professors in vet school, I don't know about you guys, but for at least for me, have been okay, don't get me wrong. I love some of my undergrad professors, but the amount of material and like time they put into not only getting to know you as a person, but also into the study of like the thing that they're teaching is just incredible. It's completely different. They're putting in so much effort. Like they're truly fascinated and love this and love teaching it for you guys, teaching us, and it's just it makes it so much like it's so much material, but you're just like they're so passionate about it. I want to be passionate about it type of situation.
Yeah, like I've seen professors schedule with groups of like four people in the anatomy lab to walk through every
Exactly.
single nerve and artery. And it's just so nice having people that care or their main job isn't research, it's teaching.
That is great. I can tell that our professors are like truly that experts in their field. Every time we have a lecture, I'm just like, they're a genius. Okay, that was probably the easiest thing in the world from them, and we're sitting there confused. But they're always available, like open door policy. If you want to go chat with them, go chat with them. I think I need to take more advantage of that. But they're so passionate. It is great to see. It is wonderful to see.
I'm always like, I'm gonna disappoint them. It's like I can't disappoint them. I gotta do better. I gotta ace this exam. But
I know, I'm like, please don't look at mine. Like, can you
don't
just
look
let
at
me
mine.
I grade it or something? I don't want you to see it.
Yeah, like this stays between no one. Like I can grade this for you guys, and I promise I'll be accurate for sure. Like you can't see this. It's not good enough for you yet. Give me a couple weeks. I'll get there.
Yeah, my eyes only. Thank you.
Exactly.
What is y'all's dress code? This is something that always comes up in specifically like the APVMA Facebook group, and I don't know why, but people seem to be really honed in on this. Ours is you have the option between scrubs or business casual.
We have people wearing crop tops. Like it's not that option. Like when you go into lab, you can wear crop tops into lab, but you can't wear shorts and flip flops, obviously. But you just and you always got to wear your lab coat. But we're really lax about it, honestly. Like I wouldn't even I probably would feel comfortable wearing a crop top, but I probably won't. But I just wear like outfits, like never casual scrubs on days that I know I'm gonna be in the lab all day or I'm gonna get stinky. And like I wear scrubs probably twice or three times a week. But we don't really have a dress code, which is nice.
That's nice. I have a dress code. We don't have to be business casual, luckily. At anatomy lab, you have to be fully scrubbed, lab coat. If not, you're not allowed in. You know, cadavers are gross. So I understand. So I agree with that one. And then the rest of them are pretty easy. We just can't show our midriffs, and the tank tops have to be wider and thicker. But the classrooms are really cold, so I feel like everyone brings a sweatshirt. And like some people wear pants, but I mean, people wear like biker shorts. no big deal all the time. I'm always cold, so I'm always wearing leggings or jeans. So it's really a mix. It's casual though, super casual.
I find it crazy that you guys can't wear crop tops or like they measure the size.
I know. I've never
Like
worn anything that
the
way.
whole thing is we're professionals, so they want to treat us like how they would expect us to treat them. And I've seen some of my professors in the cutest outfits, and I'm just like, I didn't know you were like that. Like it was so crazy.
My professors are always business casual. They look so.
I would die. I need a little
Yeah.
bit of flair.
It sounds like we're more on the formal side, but it's very like, it's just like, that's what you should be wearing. They're not going to get on to you. They're not going to do anything like that. It's just like the general, I would say 99% of the class wear scrubs pretty much every single day. If we're doing something outside, you might see people in like jeans and like a polo or something for large animal. Scrubs are just comfortable. They're like glorified pajamas. So that's become like the norm. But like, there's been a couple days where I ran out of scrubs and I get to put on business casual or something easy. They're not crazy with it.
Yeah.
What do you guys do for your mental health in vet school, and what structure does your vet schools have? So mine has embedded counselors, and then we have like modules we can fill out. So that's been a great resource. They see, I think, like a good majority of the students over the course of the 4 years, making sure people are handling it well. And for me, in my own time, I'll take walks, talk to people. That always makes me feel a lot better. Or like reach out to the counselor if it's a really stressful time. So what have you guys been doing to make sure you're staying okay?
I love my little walks, my little runs. I'll always go home, get a meal with like my parents or something, see my dog. But we also have counselors, which is really nice. And then in our professional class, a lot of that is focused towards mental health and well-being. And it's really crazy because they start the day and they're always like, you're depressed, you're depressed, you're all depressed. And it's just like a great start because they're always like, they bring the mood down so much when trying. I'm like, why why is this happening? Everyone in my class, we kind of joke that we have trauma bonds, and we all just talk each other through it, and we understand that it's just a lot, and so we just all work together through it, which is nice.
Yeah, I'd say I definitely lean on my friends from Auburn and my boyfriend so much. I'm not to this stage. I feel like something about the hardest part of vet school for me has been the social aspect, and y'all know that I'm not quiet, like I'm not an introvert. So I don't know why that's been the hard part, but I've literally it's something about going to class. I just like zoom in and I am not talking to anybody, and it's my fault. Like it's not that the people here are bad. I just genuinely have tuned everything out, and I'm trying to work on maybe socially getting back into it. So I still have my old support system that I love so much. But yeah, I would say overall very happy.
It's good.
Get that about meeting people because I'm really close with my VET group, but it's still the same thing as we've only known each other for a couple of months. So you're trauma bonded, but you haven't known each other that long. I think it will change over time even more because you're always spending time with them. A lot of the time is studying with them. Once we get to have more club meetings and more outing, like we'll get to know each other as people more. That sounds
Yeah.
horrible, but
It's mostly just like, I know this person's how they study and I like how they study. Do I know them personally? But like me and my class got real personal real fast. It was a little crazy. I feel like it's okay, I know why. You guys know me, and then my president is like me times 10. She's so social. I love her so much. And then we're just like, tell us your deepest, darkest secrets, and we're gonna join as a class and be happy together. And so that's kind of what we strive for. And it works out. Like our class has done really good, and we've already had like multiple group hangouts, which has been really nice.
that's so special. Everyone's very real here, which has been so refreshing, and they're so dedicated, and they're so talented. Like you can just tell. I hope you guys have the same feelings about your class.
What are y'all most excited about this semester?
Yes, okay. I'll start this one because I'm super excited for this. We just picked our selective, so it's like 1 week of we learn in the field. And as a first year, your options are shit, like typically. But I somehow got fifth, and there were 4 spots guaranteed for first years for trap neuter release. So one of the people didn't want it, so I should be doing my first neuter this spring. I mean, this winter. like Christmas time. It'll be so fun. That one I was really excited to get into. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I did my first cat neuter in Africa over the summer and it's so fun.
Cool.
And I was having a hard time like with the nodding part of it. Besides the point. The thing I'm looking forward to the most is LSU. One of the reasons we started so early, like the first week of August, is because we get this 2 week period. It's more like 2.5 weeks because they also do a fall break at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get like 2 weeks off of school to do first years. It's the special topics class that I was talking about. You have either clinical hours you need to complete, something like 36 hours of clinicals, and you need to work in a clinic, or you have service and service learning hours where you cannot be in a clinic, but it has to do with animals. But most of it is you're encouraged to go into the community, do community outreach. But if you complete them before that date, you just have 2 weeks off of school. So I'm gonna go home and do like one event for service learning back there, but I'm pretty much almost done with it. And I just think it's so cool. I get to have like 2 weeks off and then chill. So I don't even know what my plans are yet.
We're off Thanksgiving too. We have our finals that first Monday before Thanksgiving, and then we're done. Then we do our 1 week of IA, which is just integrated applications into the class, and then we do my selective of the trap neuter release. So that's kind of our schedule, which is nice too. That like no finals after Thanksgiving.
Fair
That's
enough.
really nice. That's really nice.
Gretel's wishing.
She's like, I don't want to worry about exams with my turkey.
Yeah, my most excited thing. Let me rephrase that. I'm most excited for to have this week over because of our 3 back-to-back exams. And then I'm doing the animal welfare judging assessment contest like I had done in undergrad, but as a veterinary student at Texas A&M. So I'll be traveling the first weekend in November, and I'm pumped for it. So this year is dressage horses, gerbils, gaboon vipers, and tilapia. So I'm learning all these crazy animals on the side.
Tilapia
And
is something to eat, not to learn.
yes, tilapia is to eat. Some vets see them. Now I'm learning about that. And then I will also be going to Zimbabwe this summer. Our summers are only, I think they give us 6 weeks. So it will be a brief stint, but Michaelin went, and now I will be going, and I'm so pumped. And that'll be another episode of the Vet Files, is Michaelin's recap.
Yes. Okay, so on that same note, we talked about what we're excited for. What is y'all's like number one goal for the semester? Mine is to make an A, hopefully in form and function, if not all my classes. Just one A. It doesn't matter. I just want an A.
We are pass fail, so luckily I don't have to do that part with the A. So I guess my goal would be to pass all my classes. That would be a good goal for me.
I want to, well, of course, pass everything and retain and truly understand so I can go into the next IP and be like, oh yeah, that built on this, and not be like completely lost, because I used to dump a ton of information in undergrad, but now I really want to hold on to it. So that's my biggest goal. Not only just pass, like I want a B to an A range at the
A
end
high
of the
pass.
semester. A high pass. That is the goal. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then I think kind of to wrap it up, let's do what we wish pre-vet students knew about this transition and one sentence of advice to future vet students.
I have like a couple points couple deep thoughts I have felt starting this. Everyone here somehow, even though they're incredible, doubts that they belong here, which when I see them through my own lens, I think they're amazing. They did a million things in undergrad. They were at the top of their class. And also, like, my entire class is made of presidents of their pre-vet clubs, like 10 of them or more that I've met so far. So you're with the leaders of your class. You're with the people who care so much. So that's so special. And some advice, like, don't doubt it, even in the process of applying, that you belong in the school. And just know it's going to be a big adjustment. It has been for me. And it's okay to like fail and try it out and learn how to learn again.
My advice would probably just be to just keep going, just keep pushing. If something doesn't work out, just keep trying your hardest and you'll get it one way or another. and then give yourself grace because like things are going to happen. Things will work out how they're supposed to. Don't stress too much about it. You're doing your hardest, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I would say as far as the transition, again, this might be a unique experience, but I had stressed myself out about it to the point of like just the thought of starting vet school is like it's not that bad. Like it's hard, it's challenging, but it is not impossible. Most schools in the US have over a 90% graduation rate for a reason. It is possible. Also, as far as future vet students in general, do not compare yourself. That applies to literally every aspect of your life. But I spent the entire application year and application process comparing and reading stats, and that is one of my biggest regrets because all of the schools that I was like, I'll get in there if I get in, I got denied from. And then the schools that I was like, oh my God, I would never get in there, I got into them. So just stop comparing yourself. Even when you get to vet school, it's not a competition. People like to say it is, it's just not. You're focused on your own goals,
And
focus
it's
on
much better to be collaborative. Sorry to cut you off there, but like
no, I
work
agree.
with your classmates. Like don't
Yes.
compete with them.
There's absolutely no reason to be cutthroat and think that you're in a race. There is no race. You're in it together. Like that sounds so cheesy, but you literally are. You're together all the time because you're
Too
in it
much.
together. Like there's no reason to compete. You have the same goals. Somebody getting an A on their test is not going to affect you getting an A on your test. It's not like 10% get into vet school. It's, everybody could make an A if you wanted to. So work together, improve each other. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And we will see you on the next episode of the Vet Files. Thank you, Brayden, for joining us. So